Hello everyone, this is Chris Burns from Slash Gear. Today what you're going to be looking at is a brand new app that's out for both iOS and Android, both tablets and handsets. It's called Google Currents. Now what you're looking at here is essentially a news reader that works very intuitively and very visually. Now what you can see here on the right is that we have a bunch of sources already set up with icons and titles there. We can add more like that. On the left we have a main image for each of these sources. Now what this main image is an never-ending updating image that's based on the newest story that any of these sources has. Like for example, Laughing Squid 2 hours ago has a post about bronze bones. I'm not sure what they're for, but that's the image for them. On Imgur, this is going to be much more quickly updated because Imgur is a place where images are posted, so there's thousands of images a second. Good. Good appears to have one big image here because once you go into Good, this is an example of what you do next. Is you can either go into an article from this side or you can go straight into the article to the source on this side. We'll go into Good just to show you that once you're in here, you can see that this is their main image and then this is their sections. Each blog or news source, or whatever you want to call it, has sections here if they had it set up beforehand. If they did not have it set up beforehand for today, you'll be able to go, if you own a blog, you'll be able to go in and make something like this happen for you. Now, if you go just, for example, for Good, if you go over to here, you can get straight to their stories. If you go back to the home button there, go back to Good, you can go, nothing is over here because this is just a title image. You can go through their different sections like business, news, culture, and design. And then if you tap this button right here, you're able to see their news just on the side like that. Now, if you're in an article, you can get to the same page right here. This is always just a short, foreshortened little area where you can get to all the news. And then from there, you can also get to your settings. Now, these settings are the same no matter where you are in the app, but that's just another place you can get to them. The other place you can get to them is straight out here on the, I'll call it the desktop. You can pop right back into your settings there. Now, another thing that's constantly on the front on the page here is this button right down here, which is a sharing button. You're able to +1 it. That works with Google Search, or you can go straight to email, or you can click More. Now, what More currently has is email, Instapaper, Pinboard, Tumblr, Facebook, and Twitter. Now, to connect to those, you can either go through here, like I'll be able to connect through it like so. I won't do that right now. Or you can go into your settings and then sharing services, and you'll be able to connect through there. Back, done. You have your library on the right, or you can go to trending. If you go to trending, this is based on Google News. That means it's not the sources that you added, it's sources that Google News uses. You can also add more trends based on their categories. If we add technology, for example, we'll just switch it to on. We'll go done. Now we should see more trends pop up eventually. Now, if we go back to library, you can see that these all have icons except for this one. These two right here, this one's Communication Daily. That's a blog that doesn't have a connection to this site, this service yet, which means that if you go in, you will be able to see articles and stuff, but you will not be able to see the the front page icon or setup. Like if I go straight in here, you'll see that it's straight to the news articles rather than it being cut off nicely like these other sites do have. Now, if I go back to the front page here and I go into Slash Gear, this is another example of a custom-made site where on the left you have the most recent article, or right here you have what's new. That leads us also into the news. Columns just shows columns that people like myself have written. YouTube goes to our YouTube channel. If you go into YouTube, you're able to see just videos like this, and you'll be able to play them straight from the thing. And this is going to be kind of meta because this was filmed, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Oh, that's the Asus tablet. What am I thinking? So.
This is not the final version of the game, but it does.
So you can play videos right from there, very slick. Now if you back out, you can go straight to our reviews. This will have all the reviews we've done, since the beginning. you can go straight to our Google Plus. If you tap that, you'll be able to get to our Google Plus page. Back out here, and then you can go straight to our news feed again. Now we have stuff right here, including the post we made an hour ago, which is Google Currents, which is what you're looking at right now. This is another place where you can share from. Go like that and share it straight to Facebook or Twitter, etc. Or you can keep going pages left or right like that, or by pulling it left or right like that. Now, another thing you can do here is turn your tablet or whatever you're using on its side, and it automatically reshuffles itself nicely. If you go in here, you can see that it's all very nicely situated. If you switch it back, it flips back. Now, this is one of the great powers of this app, and one of the reasons why Google is banking that it will draw people to Android, because there's nothing like this for iOS. You can, I mean, obviously you can use it on iOS like this, but you're not able to connect to Apple services, for example. This is all based in Google. There's Google News. You're using this for a Google Reader. Like, let me show you here. If I add another source here, you can go down and you get to Google Reader. Now, Google Reader is a source, is a service you use outside of this to add all the sources you want and then read, RSS feeds from blogs. But what you got in here is those same sources, and you can add them to your front page like you would any other source. This is your library. It shows everything that you've got in your front page there already. You can go to curators. Now, this is a list of people that are connected. The all pluses here. This means that they're on Google Plus, and they choose stories for you essentially. So that's pretty cool. Other is a category with some odd sources: sports, science and tech, lifestyle, entertainment, design, business, news, recommended features, and search. If you go to search, this is how you're going to find your own blog if you are not registered with them quite yet. Featured is some stuff that Google has chosen. Same for recommended. I'm not sure the difference between those at the moment. You can go to news. This is stuff like Al Jazeera and Slate. And then the thing you want to look at here is science and tech. Now, if you go into science and tech, if it loads, there does seem to be some loading delay in a couple places on here, but for the most part it seems pretty good, by the way. You'll see that these appear to rearrange themselves, by the way. Sources in these lists seem to rearrange themselves. Last time I checked, /Q was down at the bottom. Now it's closer to the top. And, it has 722 subscribers where, 10, 20 minutes ago it had 10 because it just started up. Now, once you're here, you can do things like, if you tap a thing, you can, nothing, I guess. I thought it did something. Excuse me. You can add it. So if we want to add Macworld, we'll just go ahead and add it. Now it's in our library. Done. Now if you go to your library, you can see that the things we just added are in here. And we can go to either trending or library. Once we go back out to our front page here, we can get to our sources again. Tap in there. Take a look at our articles. Read about the Packers. You can see that some pages have a nice little bar on the top here. You'll be able to customize that if you add your own blog through their portal today. That's it. Pretty cool. Pretty great service they have here right out of the box. I'm using this all the time.